anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.
Thank you for viewing the Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy E. Jones, and I have some exciting news for you today. So I want to give you a moment to talk to you and tell your friends, tell your associates, tell folks that you want to be in that know of what's going on, to tune in by whatever means that they use to tune in. They want to do that on the Talk Beat Jones. This morning I've got some really wonderful information, and I want everyone to share this information. But first of all, again, this is the Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy E. Jones, and we are on the air every Wednesday. We're on the air every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to 11. You can watch us again on the YouTube TV 33 on demand, and you go into the video section, and you can always watch the new shows that are brought in every week. Of course, you're able to, at some point, watch the shows on the R.J. Watkins page. That is the R.J. Watkins page, and you can watch the shows live. You also, at some point, will be able to call and talk to us, but this morning, this evening, whatever time that you may be viewing the show, we want to let you know that we love you, we appreciate you. How is it that during the election process that just transpired, that you did not have your major black candidates coming to this station and spending money? Huh? Why did we not have the candidates, the major candidates in Detroit or running for Congress, coming to this station with our great voice and the percentages? Let's go with the facts. Detroit is how many percentage points of being black? Used to be almost 90, maybe down to 70 something now, maybe 80. But that's still a high percentage of black folk. And so if you have that number of black folk, and you have this station that has been the heart of this community, we're operating here out of Highland Park for all of these years, and for all of the folk that have been elected to various different political offices during the course of this station and their relationship with this station, we are wondering, I'm not the station's wondering family. This is all Billy Jones. This is all Billy Jones, and I've been with the station since back in 2005, 2006. I've watched the station have all of the political folks coming to the station in droves to get the station help in trying to reach their goals, which was to reach a political office, be it a state rep, be it a senator, be it a council person, be it a congressional person, be it persons running for mayor, Secretary of State. In fact, the person that is the city clerk for Detroit, Janice Winfrey, when she was teaching school, came to this station and was promoted by this station. And Janice Winfrey, a person that no one knew, was able to win the position of city clerk. So let's go into the process now of understanding the election process. I want to take a quick moment and speak about the selection that our vice president, presidential nominee, Kamala, that's with a K, Kamala Harris, the vice president, has selected her running mate. And her running mate is a person that, as I got to see, know, and hear more about him, I am doing backflips. I am doing backflips. This ticket for president and vice president put together by the Democratic Party is just an outstanding folk that can run and help this world become greater through the United States of America. We have the type of folk that have the pedigree that can move this country forward. We have the folks with the type of understanding, type of love and experience that can unite this country. This is the type of folks that we needed to be ahead of our leadership in the United States of America. Folks with intelligence, experience, and integrity, and will tell you the truth. We will be in great hands. We will be in great hands, family, when you pick the nomination of Kamala Harris, that's with a K, and her vice president nominee. I'm going to tell you, it is a powerful team. This man, look him up. First name is Tim. Look him up. See who he is. Read about him. Understand who he is. I'm going to tell you one thing that jumped out at me. Coach is one of his things. Coach who took a losing team that never won, turned them around to become a state champion. That's a man, or could be a woman. But the process is they know how to coach. And for those folks who understand the understanding of how to coach, you are the father figure. You're taking folks and helping them to learn how to prepare for life. Not just the event or the process of what sport they're in, but you are helping to prepare them for life. Meaning that you have depth. You have understanding. You have the ability to look out and see the world, not just from your own eyes, but for the perspective of what it takes to help your folk that you are dealing with, the young folk, and help them be guided to have a potentially successful, happy life. And what do they call you? They don't just call you Papa. They don't just call you Daddy. They don't just call you Father. They call you Coach. Because as the coach, you encompass all of that in their minds. I was an athlete. I had the coach. We know the respect that the coach receives, the coach demands. And if you have a great coach who's able to make you feel good and feel that you can accomplish anything that you set your heart, your mind out to do, then you have that father figure or that mother figure, and you call them coach. And they lift you up. When you are down, they lift you up. And when you're up, they prop you and let you know you can still go higher. Appreciate where you are, but you can go higher by doing what? Working harder. Working harder. So the idea of working hard is in this man. But to understand how to guide folk, and do you understand how to go and participate against another team, another man or woman that feels strongly about their team? And you have to strategize. You have to strategize how to take the best that that person is going to present to you on the field of play, or whatever it is that you're dealing with. And you have to outthink that person in real time. In real time. And you can't come across with anything phony. You can't come across anything fake. You can't come across with anything that's a lie. Because your team has to believe in what you're doing, and they have to be able to apply in the operation of whatever it is that they're doing. They have to apply your plan and follow your plan. And if necessary, on the fly, that you're telling them something different, they have to believe. They can't question. They have to believe it because they know that you tell the truth. And that's where you are the highest of the coaches, because you outthought the other coach. You had your players to apply your principle, your game plan. And they did it with zest, and they did it with love, and they did it with respect, and they understood. I give you my best. I trust you. You are my truth teller. You tell me how to get greater, better. I say all this because when you look at also the man as a teacher, was also a teacher. So I'm saying this so you can understand where his heart has always been and where his truth has been. We're talking about the nominee that Kamala, your vice president, selected to be her vice president of choice, Tim. Yeah, I'm going on the first name basis because he presents himself that way. He's that type of person that you see him, you meet him, and you want to know him. Hey, Tim! You watch him as he walk across with your vice president, your presidential nominee, Kamala Harris. Watch him wave, watch him move, watch him style, watch him bring her into the program. Watch him guide her too. And get people all revved up with enthusiasm, with belief. This is going to happen. And when you got a big bad wolf knocking at your door, you got to have that wind. You've got to have that wind to blow it down. To blow it down. So you see, when you're blowing it down and you look up and all the lies, they start to get scattered. And the wolf is trying to grab the lie and pull him in because you got to throw him out. Can't do that. Not with this team. Not with this team. You've got a truthful presidential nominee in Kamala Harris. Has armor of steel. A mind that don't take a back door to no one. No one. But will give it to you with respect. And has the ability to still be a person that can laugh, have fun, relate to everyone. Maybe that comes from being a sorority sister. Maybe that comes because she understood coming from Oakland, California, what life, what real life is about. But you can still be that professional person. Oh, by the way, she also knows how to kick butt. That's the bottom line. She knows how to take care of the business of our needs. And when I say our needs, I'm not looking at the color. We're talking about all of us. All of the folks, no matter what nationality you may be, no matter what sexual preferences you may have, no matter where you may have come from, and you're on the soil of the United States of America, you too are included. That's where her mind is. That's who we need. And it's going to tell you the truth. Going to tell you the truth. And you have a person that has the experience of winning. When you can go against a six-time office holder and beat that person on your first time out, and you holding that job, you're the man. And in some cases, you may have been the woman. But we're talking about the nominee for the Vice President of the United States as we speak. He is that person. And you combine the two of them, what type of mindset are you going to have? Oh, my cookies. Oh, my cookies. We are in a position to have the greatest potential team that this world has ever, ever, ever seen. How And why can I say that? Because it is how the team, the chemistry, has already shown you it has gelled. And when that happens to these type of great minds who want to do nothing but help the world and be in the position to help the world and to be able to say, I got your back. You know what? I got your back. Now we can move forward. Now we can move forward. And family, we're going to move forward. Because before I say this, I'm going to do this real quickly so that it's not taken out of context. This black station, WHPR, WHPS, that has been in your midst for all of these years and has helped produce so many of our political folks who went to political power, it would take me a little while to name you all of the folks who have been able to go to political power, political offices, and been able to be in that seat for a longer period of time through the help and the publicity that they've gained and the popularity that they gained through coming to this station. I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact. And I want you to know this. And we come to this day. We want to know why, family, that your folk, I want you to hear me very closely, and I want folks to understand this is not the station. This is Billy E. Jones. I have no fear. And I'm going to say this. We have folk here who've had a lot of political power, who've had a lot of connections, and have felt that they were their own king or queen in their own islands. And they felt and feel that they run these things, that they are the persons that's in power on their own island. And if you can't do things in their time, in how they choose, and at the fact that they don't want to pay you no money, but they want to be in charge, but they will have to pay everybody else some money and then complain about the fact they don't have that much money. Well, family, why do you go to Sam's Club or Costco? You go where your money will help spread a little longer, buy you more. So let's take all these excuses from all these folks who ran for office talking about if we'd had more money to do more, this and that, etc. Take it and look at my face and I say it's a lie. It's how you spend your money. And the fact of how is that you can take a black station and not endorse and not work with your black station that has been proven when it was smaller to be able to help folks get elected in office. How are you going to sit back and do whatever you do and turn around and tell the TV station and ownership how to run their station and want everything done on the cheap, that is, no money? I want you, when you see your folks walking around and styling and profiling and talking about who they are and what they're about, to ask how you are not connected with that station. I don't give a care what you say about what problems, whatever it is it may be. But did you ever think your dollars could help you? Because as a station gets stronger, lost for you. If the station gets stronger, as it has continued to do without your help, what could we have done to working together? So don't come across with all this conversation when I say to people, when they say, when we come together. And some of you out there got that power and sit and talk about when we come together. Ask how many more votes could the person that was running for Congress, who's on the city council, how many more votes could you have gotten if you had used this as a base for your operation? How many dollars could you have worked out to spend with this station, and you could have done it within your budget? Why did you choose not to champion with this station? And you, other congressperson, say you're so smart are the folks that are around that try to lift you up with no dollars because of who they were, what they're about, thinking that was going to fly. Then we turn around at the end and say, well, he had no money. So you knew that when you stepped into the race, but everybody going to tell you, we're going to get you to get these things done, and it ain't going to cost you no money. Slick is as slick as. You lose. Then you complain. All of those folks out there who thought they was all that and going to be this and that, etc. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Because when you come to the station at this point, my request is that the station charge you as many dollars as they can. Because we're moving on. And as George Jefferson says, we're moving on up. And I want to say this one more time. We're going to get ready to go to commercial break, but family, get ready, because on the Talk Beat Jones, I want to say this. By voting, citizens are participating in the democratic process. Citizens vote for leaders to represent them and their ideas, and the leaders support the citizens' interests. Did you hear what I just said? It is a two-way street. I am Billy Jones. This is Talk Beat Jones. We'll be back shortly after these commercial announcements.
Talk Beat Jones.
Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Mattered. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
Go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.
All right. Good day to everyone. This is the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones, and I want to let you know that today is a great day. Why? Because we are live. You're watching what's going on around the world, and hello, Mrs. Vice President Kamala Harris, who is soon to be, well, she is now in the nomination for to become the world's strongest person, that is, the President of the United States of America. So let's get our thoughts together, get our words together, get our feelings together, get our love together on the Talk Beat Jones. Remember the Talk Beat Jones, we're on the air live every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And, of course, we have a repeat broadcast on a Sunday that is on 15.2. That's 15.2. at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. And of course, you can go to the YouTube TV33 on demand. And of course, you can pick that up 24 hours a day, 365. That is that YouTube TV33 on demand. And remember, family, if there are other programs and shows that you've liked over the years that you want to review or tell it to your friends, they can go and see any and all the programs that have been associated, a part of the production of the TV33, WHPR, WHPS. And of course, when you get ready sometime, we're going to talk to you about how to go to the R.J. Watkins page where you can watch and follow the shows and review the shows 24 hours. And that is on the R.J. Watkins page. Once again, you're watching whom? I am that guy. I am Billy E. Jones, and this is the Talk Beat Jones. And I love you, appreciate you, and we're going to take some time today. I asked the studio, I said, today I want to concentrate. I want to reconnect with my family. I want to reconnect with my audience. I want to reconnect with all the fans and friends from around the world that I have been dealing with, having co-hosts. I've been having callers calling in, etc. So you've had an opportunity to hear what other folks are thinking and what's on their minds, etc. Today, family, let me flow. Let me flow. And one of the things that I want to flow about is the elections that's coming up. I want to understand that we are at a great time. We had a great time, a change in the world. Why do I say a change in the world? Well, what affects the United States of America affects the world, because the person that is at the top in America has the most power. Family, we are about to have that handoff. We're about to have the handoff of that love. We're about to have that handoff of the speed of saying, I love you, I love my country. We feel that our country can make that move forward. We've been making the progression. We can continue to make that progression. When people say, let's make America great again, we know what that signal is about. But you see, the idea that one group of folk who is soon to become the minority can set themselves up to be the controlling factor in this country and tell everyone else, step back. Remember how one group of folk controlled everything that went on in America. One group of folk had every position of power and prestige in America. That is saying, that is going backwards to saying, let's make America great. Key word. Whom were the players? Whom were the people that was placed in power? How did the decisions, how were they arrived at? Who was making those decisions? Who was stamping what we could do, what you could do, what your children can do in America? Who controlled that? And the code word, as we go around and we continue to listen to the political ranks, and these are people that are trusted with power. These are people that was trusted by people saying, you're going to do what's right for us as the people, as your constituents. And those persons are saying, thank you. Now we're going to take this and we're going to do it the way that we want to do, not how the people care to do. We know that if we put things out, there's a certain folk and a certain mentality that will say, yeah, go ahead, Big Daddy. Make it work for us. We can't think for ourselves. We were willing to follow you no matter what it is that you say, because we know that you know what you're doing. We got blinders on. We don't care to have to think about what you're saying. Tell us how you went to the moon. Tell us how you landed on the moon. Tell us how you walked on the moon. And guess what? Big Daddy, we trust you. We don't even want to spot check you. That is, fact check you. We don't care what you say, because you are the person that's we feel is going to take us back to making America great. What does that mean again, family? Well, let's go to another code word. Another code word is this: civil disobedience. Excuse me, not civil disobedience. That's a different term. We're talking about the Cold Civil War. And think about that. When we talk about folks who are in power, people who are working towards getting power, and they're putting out the fact that if they don't get their way, they're saying must be time for a civil war. Now, it is, to me, I'm stumped when I hear the people of power, including the man that is running for president, to be the president again. It's like a throwaway, but it's a signal. It's a dog whistle that if we can't get it our way, prepare to fight. When the man says fight, 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 what does that mean? What is that meaning? What is the message? The Civil War, for folks who don't remember and for folks who are new to the country or don't quite understand part of America's history, the Civil War was between the North and the South. Folks who were wanting to stay in power and keep the slaves empowered, and those persons who felt that it was time for people to be treated as people. So we had the North and the South, white folks, fighting for power, those that wanted to keep things as it is, as it was, and those that was working to make a change so that all people had an opportunity to grow and become somewhat equal. Let us look at the word equal. Is 3/5 the same as a whole? Think about this, folks. Is 3/5 the same as a whole? It's something we don't discuss, something that is not put out there, but it's 3/5 a whole. And yet they say everyone should be treated equal. But by constitutional law, there are some folk that are only considered 3/5 of a man. And it's not a problem. No one challenges it. So when we talk about a civil war, we're talking about to implement the idea that we want to make sure everyone, except a certain group of folk, are considered 3/5 of a person when we're speaking of make America great again. Look at our history. Look at the history in which people said this was America being great. Who was in control? Who were the people that had the power? What group of people had the power and have the power? Even under the president, when President Obama was the president of America and considered the most powerful man in the world, when Obama opened the doors and walked in to see the folks that he had to deal with, and he may have 30, 40 folk in that room that he had to deal with and had to have them to think and work with the ideas that he had or the ideas that was put in place for him to say, work on passing this. All you have to do is get your folk to pass this. And he's looking out, and he's looking at 30, 40 folk that he has to work with. And he may only have 2 or 3 folk that look like him. But he has to appease and still be, quote, a power broker. But he has to appease those other folk to get them to come along and be a part of what he is doing, what he is putting out. So wondering if you ever had a situation in which you put your hands behind your back and put a smile on your face and had someone that wanted to slap you, but you have to appease them so that they won't slap you, but you can't put your hands up to block it. the only thing that you can do is find a way to appease them, to get them to go along and act as though you are in control. So when we speak on Make America Great Again, is that the America that you are looking at, my fellow Americans? Is that America that you immigrated to this country to be a part of, my fellow new Americans? Is that the America that you have risked your lives and the lives of your children to cross the borders, to come to this country, to become an American, to work towards getting your citizenship? And people say, no, folk at some point do work towards getting their citizenship. So we have this great thing called diversity. Diversity is what is going on. So is it greater to have all of the pot where we said America is the greatest melting pot? Well, we got more ingredients in that pot. We have more folk from various countries, various thoughts that are coming to this country. Can you stop it? No. No, you can't stop it. Can you slow it? Potentially. But can you stop it? No. Folks are here. Folks are going to be continuing to come here. And the population of other groups, other folks, is going to continue to grow. So is that something that folks who, quote, are in power are looking to see how their situations may be somewhat diluted because they don't and won't have the numbers? So is it a process where you say, well, I don't want the people to have the power. And if us can get in power, we can pass the rules, we can pass the laws that we know is more of a dictator style. So we don't have to have the numbers. We don't have to have the vast numbers of people. All we have to do is have ourselves in place and have it down on the paper or in laws and have the Supreme Court to stamp it. If I have the control of the Supreme Court and we are watching and we're seeing that the tenor of the Supreme Court and the folks who are serving on the Supreme Court serve now with more of an arrogant attitude about who and what they are about, or they're concerned about what you feel and think about their decisions the way it used to be? Or is this a part of making America great in which you have folk sitting on the Supreme Court that do not have to worry about what you say, what anyone says? They are totally above the law. Totally above the law. And as you're seeing, the type of things that they're willing to do, the type of gifts that they're willing to accept, knowing that this makes it a process whereby there's favors that are expected and will be granted. And in the past, you looked at your Supreme Court folks and knowing that they had the type of integrity to refuse these offerings. Now, it seems that our Supreme Court folk are willing to say, give me this, give me that, give me as much as you can give me, and I'll wink my eye, and we'll be ready when you need us. So is it a process that the Supreme Court says, well, the man that put us here, we can set things up so that he too can have this type of power? And in the end, if his situations or his decisions are being challenged, us who don't have to worry about what the people think about our decisions, we, of course, can back the president. Is that making America great again? Depends on the group of folk that you're speaking to and speaking of. But we do know, in our thinking, And remember, family, I said I'm not taking the calls. I'm not having the person sitting here with me. I'm saying that, like I say to you, everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own thought. And when you're doing that, it means that your thought, your opinion, is the greatest opinion, the greatest thought in the world. Because you claim it. It is yours. So as I sit here, do I say that the things and the thoughts that I have to bring to you today are technically correct, emotionally correct, in your mind correct? That's not what I'm saying. We're saying that I'm here talking with you. And in your mind, in your head, you're thinking, hopefully it'll tickle you and you'll have thoughts. But you're being in a situation where I'm sharing my thoughts and how I'm thinking through the process of a person, not a person that's just on television or TV or in the streaming and devices and etc. But I'm speaking from the heart. I'm speaking from concern for the country the way that you are. And so I say to you, give me the room to think and express my thoughts. They may be different from yours, but that's okay. That's why I say everyone has the entitlement of their own thought, their own thinking. So today, once again, I wanted to let you know that this is Billy E. Jones, and this is the Talk Beat Jones. And it's like they say, the king had no clothes. Now you're in trouble. Now you are in trouble. Does it mean that the Supreme Court is going to save you? That's another situation that will come out. Does it mean that all the different judges that have been appointed, who has friends, who has relatives, who has connections with other judges and other places and other situations, etc.? Because you know when they say in a court case, the prosecutor and a defense attorney, they seem like they are just like animals ready to fight. And then when the situation is all said and done, what do? Hey, Fred. Hey, Frank. Hey, Cicely. You want to go out? Let's go out and have a steak and drinks. Okay, yeah, all right. Hey, that is the way it works. It's a job. It is an act. But when the act is all over, the friendship comes back. That's why they say, oh, yeah, I know such and such. I know this person. I know. Oh, yeah, we've hung together. We've talked together. But in the courtroom, we are bitter rivals. That's what they say. Is that a problem? Not really. You go to a boxing match. Back in the day, the winner and the loser used to sometimes shake hands. Some of them would even do a hug. Because I acknowledge that in, quote, a fair fight with the referee, just making sure I don't hit you low, that I don't hit you behind the head, that I don't rabbit punch you. And when it's all said and done, either you knocked me out or I hit you greater than you hit me in a judge's decision, and they say I'm the winner. I acknowledge. But when you hear the folk who are talking about the country and talking about how important it is for us to move forward, we don't move backwards. We move forward. And they're saying, if I lose, everything is off. Everything is off. If I lose, everything is off now. Because we got to fight. Yeah, you did something, had to do something that was crooked. You had to be sitting in a situation where you were, okay. You saw how to do something crooked to win. So we're going to say that was not fair. And because it was not fair. We're going to disrupt it. We're going to want to fight. We're going to cause whatever chaos that we can because it was not fair. Why was it not fair? Because I didn't win. I didn't win. And if I don't win, it couldn't be fair. It couldn't be fair because I lost. And I couldn't lose. Family, is that where you are? Are you understanding? Are you understanding that if I get out with and got a coin and I got to flip a coin and you are pulling and saying, here's a choice between a head and a tail with a coin. We're going to flip it. Heads, you win. Tails, I win. But guess what, family? If I got the coin and got two tails on it, throw it up, who's going to win? Who's going to win? And that seems to be the understanding as we go into this presidential election process, that the one group is saying, if we do not win, we won't accept it. It was not a fair election. Remember January the 6th? What was January the 6th about? It was simple, a process of President Trump, Vice President Pence did not follow President Trump's orders because Vice President Pence, despite him being the Vice President under Trump, still had his allegiance to the righteousness of being a person that represents the United States of America. And for that, his life was threatened by the people that were sent in to say, no, we don't want the transfer of power. We do not want the transfer of power from Donald Trump to someone else. It was not fair. And we're going to show you, we will destroy, we will come in. And by the way, where are those senators in Congress? I want them, we want them. Where is it that you can see the people who are representing all these folks in America having to run for their lives and watching the folk who are there to protect them stuck indoors with their head between the doors and them pushing, and the man is screaming in pain and fear. And the folks had the shields taken from them and beaten with them and stomped, maced, wondering, what's happening? We're here to protect, not to be attacked, not to be in this position. We are Americans protecting America, and we got Americans attacking us in force. Think about if you were one of those persons that was online to protect those senators and congresspersons and other folks. And you are being beaten. And some of you have attacks that die. Yeah. Look at the history on that. There were ramifications of death with that January the 6th, but they want to slide that apart. There were folks who got injuries that still to this day cannot recover. Do what they call due diligence, do research, Google it, however you want to do. Find out, am I telling you the truth? Or is it the other folks that says January 6th didn't even happen? It was just some folks coming down to put up a little sign to tell people, hey, we didn't like that. Is that the way that happened? Don't think so. Now, as we're moving forward, and we're going to move forward because lies, L-I-E-S, lies do not carry water. The bucket is empty. The only reason the bucket gets full is because people don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. You want to be carried away with wonderful lies. Why do you think folks who lie are able to con folks, defraud folks? Because you have lied so well, people will believe you. They tell us, if you tell enough lies, it's like throwing mud against the wall. Some of it's going to stick. And if you find that you got a rhythm of folks who eat up your lies and you continue to put them out there, you can build on them, can't you? You can build on them. And that's exactly what other folks are doing. What other folks are doing, just taking that time to build on the lies. How do you beat a con? You stretch it out. How do you understand about a lie? You listen to it, you analyze it, and you question it. You don't just eat it up. You don't be like Pac-Man, just eat it up. And I want to regress for just a moment and give you the look of a man that is looking to talk on policy, talk on issues, talk on the situations that the country is dealing with at that particular time. Hello, President Joe Biden. And let's talk on the other side of that microphone to a person who says, all I got to do is lie. Because the man is expecting us to be talking on issues, and I'm going to surprise him because all I got to do is keep lying, and guess what? He's not expecting me to stay lying, just continue to lie. So what does Joe do? Joe does what you would do, except at his age, it looks different. But how many of you have had somebody talk to you and you just can't believe it, and you do what? Your mouth flies open, and you pause with your mouth open because you can't believe what you're hearing. You can't believe what you're hearing. And you said, how can I concentrate when all this person doing is telling a lie? So how am I supposed to bring in and talk subject matter when all the person's doing is lying? I am totally aghast at what is going on here. I can't believe at this level that all I'm receiving is a lie. So yes, I would stutter. You would stutter. You would be flabbergasted, and your thinking process would be somewhat off as well. Because what happens when people are talking to you in person? Think about this, family. Think about when a person, you want to have a discussion, and the person that you're talking to, you know everything that's coming out of their mouth is a lie. Now tell me, how many of you can stay on point? Tell me, how many of you can stay on point to a person that's lying to you and you know they're lying to you? It's just surprising you, don't it? To the point where you just finally get flabbergasted and just can't take it because you can't think. There is no let's talk on business. That's what our President Joe Biden had to deal with, family. So let us get correct, let us get real, and stop listening to all this other stuff about the man just couldn't think and said, he couldn't think. Because what was he supposed to think? One lie after another lie after another lie after another lie after another lie. And we're here having a debate. But you listened to the commentators of folk who was what? Media? Who was already on the fact that he's 80 and can he do it? Anything that he did, anything that he was doing, if it showed any type of slowness, you were ready to jump on the man. But we had a president, for folks who don't know, may have to go back to Google, may have to, some folks who like to use books, check our history books. We had a president that had polio. But did the media let us know he had polio? Did we know he had polio, that he couldn't really walk? No, we didn't. The media and everyone protected him. Everyone protected him. So because Joe Biden had problems with neuropathy, and for folks who don't know what that is, that's a process where you have numbness and lack of continuous feeling in your feet. So you walk. You walk very carefully. But did that affect his brain? Does that affect his brain? And when the person that says, oh, Joe Biden, he was the worst president that's ever been president in America. And if I want to eat that up, Pac-Man, I can eat that up. Is it a lie? You know, check it out. What are they saying about the accomplishment of Joe Biden? What is it that Joe Biden has been able to do for this country? I'll give you one. Think about all the folk who have diabetes, and have a very, very strong situation with a diabetic conditioning, and they have to have their insulin. They have to have their insulin. Yet, the folk who was producing insulin had it so high, folks could not afford their life-giving insulin. Who made the change? Who made the change for the American folk so that your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your child could afford the insulin injections at $35? Could you afford almost $1,000 for your insulin? Because big folks was making that type of money on insulin, didn't care if folks lived or died, but they knew that product was so much in demand that they could put that type of price on it. Who was the person who came in and helped save lives? Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. I will not sit here and try to give you all the list of his accomplishments, except when you listen to the folks talk about all the great things that your President Joe Biden has been able to bring to you. When someone else is trying to continue with the lie, Joe Biden, the worst president that we ever seen. Oh, when I come back, we're going to talk about that person that somebody calls her that laughing Kamala. That laughing Kamala. You know who they speak on. You know the person that tries to give out the nicknames and the derogatory situation there for folks. You know who that is. And we'll talk about that when we come back after the commercial breaks. Yeah, right about time. We'll be ready. We're on the commercial break. We'll be right back with the Talk Beat Jones. Again, I'm Billy Jones. All right. Mm-hmm.
Go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.
Family, Talk Beat Jones. I'm Billy Jones. I want to do this real quickly. I got excited. I didn't watch the clock, and we were just having so much conversation here. I want to say this. Talk Beat Jones. We're on air every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And again, next time, I'll talk to you more about that person, Kamala Harris, the president that's going to be elected, the person that's going to be elected president, hopefully. I'm gone. I'm over time. Love you. Peace. Bye now.
Go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.